כביש מספר 6 לדרום עמוס מבאקה
המשבר בקואליציה?
חיפוט, אירובי, פילט.
I think we're online.
There's a message.
Join the movement. We are the Underground.
Welcome to Under the Radar, your one-stop shop for electronic dance music at Net Media. I'm your host, Jeremy. What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 20 of Under the Radar. And to celebrate getting to 20, we have a very special episode for you. We have a couple special guests that are going to be coming on after this song, and they'll be introducing themselves then. And you'll understand what this episode is kind of about. So, in the meantime, relax, enjoy the music, and I'll be seeing you guys later.
Yeah, for sure. I'm Adrian.
And I'm Shad.
We're Afterlite, and we make melodic dubstep.
Have been for 5, maybe almost 6 years.
Yeah, I think so. About this point.
It's been a wild journey.
Mm-hmm.
Just to feel alive, another change. Cutting down the thoughts within. The clarity is worth it. Another time to treat this. Holding on to what we find. We don't wanna lose this fight. You, me, and gravity. Strong enough to reach the line. Are we on the final time? Forgive our lies. But we're cautioned by the hopes we had. Thinking we could make it fair. Another chance to change this. Holding on to what we find. We don't wanna lose this fight. You, me, and gravity. Brave enough to give it all. Knowing that the flame will fall. You and me and gravity. 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 You and me
We actually went to the same middle school, so we've known each other for quite a while now, and just pretty much hung out. We're friends, and decided to make music, and figured we both liked music, and kind of went from there. But it kind of just we were friends in school, so
Yeah, pretty much.
You like that, don't you? You like that, don't you? See, my eyebrows are even black. Have dyed, the eyebrows aren't. Yeah, like these. I was listening to dubstep before a lot of you were wearing diapers, alright? Which means before you were born! You like that, don't you? 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 See, my eyebrows are kind of black. Have my aunt put it on makeup. Yeah, it's not really dyed, the eyebrows aren't. Yeah, like these. I was listening to dubstep before a lot of you were wearing diapers, alright? You like that, don't you? You like that, don't you? You like that, don't you?
I mean, we were both listening to dubstep for a lot of just school and growing up. Kind of found that like there's such a unique sound and aggression to dubstep. Like it's a heavy bass-oriented genre, and we thought that was really cool. But there is a kind of like an inherent emotion within chords and harmony and elements like that. So we found that the hybrid of combining those chords and harmony and all of the like emotional elements with the aggressive sounds of dubstep is just a really cool and interesting kind of innovative sound. And the desire to make melodic dubstep kind of just came from there, of thinking that the sound was cool and kind of seeing where we could take it.
Yeah, melodic dubstep is awesome.
Well said.
Heart, don't fail me now. Even though the light is
We were kind of just sitting up in Vail in a hotel, and we were bored, so we decided we may as well write some music. And he came up with this one chord progression, and it was pretty nice. And then he did an interesting thing where he wrote a melody and reversed it.
Yeah, and that's a super cool thing. Like I wrote this melody that kind of ascends, and it was cool on its own, but it felt like it kind of needed something different. So that's a cool little thing if there are producers listening to this of sometimes just try reversing the idea and you might get a totally different song out of it.
Yeah.
And we developed the song from there. And then we actually had, I make a lot of posts sometimes on Facebook reaching out, trying to find vocalists for tracks because a vocal helps tie things together and reach bigger audiences because people connect more with vocals. And someone referred Sky Roses, the featured artist on it, and I was kind of in contact with him, and he doesn't usually do kind of, I would say, more melodic bass, kind of softer, less aggressive songs, but we happen to have this one that we wrote, and it was pretty much perfect. We just sent it to him, and he got it back in a couple of days, and we're really happy with how it turned out.
Mm-hmm.
Does it sound like I wanted anything more than a simple heart to heart? Within the pouring rain, we'll go back to the start. Everything would have been better if the headlights fluttered away. Believe me, I have pictured different options in my brain. I was better than, we were better than everything that they could say. But we opened doors, saw forevermore, and we realized we needed space. So we'll give it time, learn to walk a line, and we'll make our own way. But you're on my mind in the worst times. I hear you
you guys have shared stages with big artists like Pegboard Nerds and Tisoki. How exactly did you guys work your way up to be able to do that, to perform at Beta and at all these different festivals?
Well, we've pretty much been socializing and networking in the nightlife scene for, I would say, a little over 2 years now, and it's really led us to meet a lot of people that you wouldn't otherwise meet online, and pretty much just met a few important people that said, hey, you got pretty good music and we want you to play for these guys. And even if the show didn't make a whole lot of sense, we were able to kind of mold our sound to be able to play for them and have the night make sense and all that.
Yeah, there's a lot of adapting to the night and doing a lot of that, but it's definitely been an awesome experience to like get on these bigger shows and, I mean, be able to connect with those bigger artists and also reach their crowd with our music. I mean, we're all about trying to expose people to melodic dubstep and a sound that they haven't heard before.
And usually when you play for these bigger artists and their fans see you, they've never heard of something like this, and you always get a really good reaction when people are looking for something they haven't heard before.
No doubt.
They're like normal people. I mean, some people are cool, some people aren't so cool to talk to, and you know, like it's always awesome meeting one of your favorite artists, even if they don't turn out to be like a person you'd necessarily want to have a long conversation with. It's still an awesome experience being able to meet them.
For sure. I mean, we've had plenty of conversations, you know, at shows with those kind of artists. There's plenty that we haven't. There's a lot of artists that'll just kind of play and leave, and they don't want any part of the night, and that's understandable. But there's definitely plenty of artists, like Pegboard Nerds specifically. They hang out the whole night. They're super easy to like go up to and talk to. We've talked to them a whole bunch of times every time that we've played with them. So
Yeah, and it gives you a chance to ask questions that you wouldn't otherwise have the chance to ask online. Because, like, for example, you can ask an artist how they made a certain sound, and in person they're going to be much more willing to tell you how they made it. And it's just a really cool experience getting that face-to-face contact.
there's a better connection for sure.
Any potential collaboration on the horizon?
I wish, but no, not with anybody like on that kind of upper scale right now.
In case you're just tuning in, that was Afterlite. We're doing an interview episode with them, so stick around. You're going to hear a lot more from them later on in the show. This next song that's playing was their biggest hit so far. This is Perpendicular by Afterlite. Is there a certain thing with the colored hair? Is that
That's
part of the whole spiel?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's it was actually decided before, because we used to be a different alias before. We were known as the Wub Foundation, and that kind of sounds when you hear that. That kind of sounds when you hear that like you're going to hear a more dubstep sound, like a more traditional dubstep sound. And we were a little more on the dubstep end of things when we very first started producing, but we've since decided to rebrand and do the whole Afterlite thing. But the colors have been decided since pretty much the beginning.
Yeah, we just like how they look, honestly, and it kind of sets us apart from everybody.
And it sets kind of a tone. I mean, using the cooler colors like the blue and the purple sets a tone for the type of music that we're making. And it's been great for the whole networking and shows thing, because you don't see us out in public and not know who we are. Like, if you know of who we are, you're going to recognize immediately who we are. So it's for branding, but it's definitely just a great networking tool also.
Looks awesome on stage.
Yes, it
I
does.
mean.
Here I am again, floating through the silence in my cold skin. My body is wearing thin. I feel slowly all over. My body is wearing thin. There's darkness here. The whole world I fear. In my room I seem to drown. But I
My hair fades really fast. It's really hard to keep the purple going, and I don't have the best shampoo and conditioner, so sometimes it appears this like pastel pink almost.
What do you guys hope to bring to people who listen to your music?
I think it's all about bringing someone something that they've never heard before, like giving them an experience that they won't find elsewhere.
Yeah, we spend a good portion of our time, I mean, not even writing music, just curating sound and developing, testing out ideas that I know I haven't heard anyone else do before, just looking for something different, something new.
Exploring new things.
Absolutely.
New techniques.
I mean, and I don't even need to necessarily get someone to like melodic dubstep, just to kind of open their musical mind and listen to something they haven't necessarily thought they would enjoy from the start.
who are some of your musical inspirations, influences?
For me, I would say pretty much anyone who's been pushing melodic dubstep or melodic bass music for a while now. Like Virtual Riot is a big one, AU5, a lot of the Monster Cat guys. Crystal Skies, if you've ever heard of them before, yeah, they're a little lower on the kind of popularity scale, you could say, but I mean, those guys are just fantastic, and they're definitely someone that I look up to a lot.
You've got me saying words in my head, filling my mind with these images, yeah. And it's the way that you look at me, makes me feel like I can't breathe. It ain't right, 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 it ain't right, 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 it ain't right. Oh no, it ain't right, 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 it ain't right, 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 it ain't right. You've got me saying words in my head. You've got me saying words in my head, filling my mind with these images, yeah. And it's the way that you look at me, makes me feel like I can't breathe. It ain't right, 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 it ain't right, 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 it ain't right. Oh no, it ain't right, 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 it ain't right, 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 it ain't right. Oh no. You've got me saying words in
What are your what are some of your future plans? I'm curious.
I mean, there's two sides to that. There's the short term and the long term. Obviously, the short term is just to keep getting better at making music, finding new sounds, and just exploring new areas and trying things we haven't done, expanding our brand. And then there's the long term of like, take this thing as far as it can go.
Absolutely. The people ask us a lot, like, you know, what our next shows are, things like that. And, you know, with a brand like ours, we're not booking something like that a year in advance at like a Red Rock show or something. So it's generally just month by month kind of thing. You know, we find out about it, we tell people. But like with songs, I mean, we've been making a lot of music lately that we're trying to kind of push out here within the first kind of half of the year or throughout the year. Some stuff that we're really proud of. And we have a couple of remixes for some of our friends, so we're really hyped on that.
want to thank everybody for tuning in. Not all of the episode was able to make it in. Not all the interview was able to make it into this episode, but we will have it, the rest of the interview, in the post that will be coming up right after this. I don't know if you want to say anything else, like any last words.
Follow us on SoundCloud at Afterlite Music. that would be what I would say. Or Spotify. You could find us pretty much anywhere at Afterlite. It's LITE.
And Spectral DSP is life.
Spectral DSP is life. That's take that how you will.
All right. Well, thanks so much for being here on the show. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
It's
thank
been
you for having
awesome.
us.
Yeah.